Hi, PokeTrader18 here. In this video, I'm going to be doing a full in-depth explanation of what Shadowless cards are, and I'm also going to show and explain what the three different types of cards are within the original base set. So let's get started from the very beginning. Back in 1998, December of 1998, right before the new year, the Pokemon trading card game was released in North America, the English cards. And they released the base set, and within this set were two different types of cards. You had the first editions and the original unlimited. Now the first editions, of course, have the first edition stamp and are only printed for a certain amount of time and then canceled, whereas the unlimited will be printed for the duration of the life of the set. So the first editions, of course, were printed and then cut off at a certain point, and the unlimiteds were supposed to be printed until the set was completely discontinued. But what happened was Wizards of the Coast, in the middle of printing the unlimiteds, they decided that they no longer liked the look of the cards, and they decided to make some revisions to the cards. And what happened was, right in the middle of printing these unlimiteds, they canceled printing these. They completely stopped printing them, and they came out with this card and started printing these in their place. Now these we call unlimited cards today. The changes made between the original unlimited and the new unlimited are the text is bolder, as you can see. There's a shadow along the right and bottom sides, whereas the originals do not have that. The copyright date reads 95, 96, and 98, where on the originals it reads 95, 96, 98, and 99. And the Pokemon themselves are much lighter in the new Unlimited set. They have a lot less shading and look a bit more flat than the originals. So these were printed for the rest of the lifetime of the set, and the unlimited look of the cards like this were used in all the other sets after the base set, even with the first editions, etc. Now, when naming these three types of cards, collectors call these simply first editions, although they are shadowless, as you can see, just like these shadowless cards here. We only call them first edition because it's a given that they're shadowless. All first edition base set cards are shadowless, except for one, which I'll go over in a second. There's one exception to that rule. Now these we call shadowless cards because there's no first edition stamp, but they are shadowless, so we just call these shadowless cards. And then these we call unlimited because they're the unlimited set. So we have first edition, shadowless, and unlimited. Now that one exception to the rule that I was talking about is the base set Machamp. The base set Machamp is the only first edition base set card that can have the shadow and the bold text and the unlimited changes. The first edition base set Machamp was released in the 2-player starter deck. And when the starter deck first came out, it came with this Machamp, the first edition Machamp, which is perfectly normal. It's shadowless, you know, it's got the darker illustration, just like all the other first edition cards in the set. But when they switched to the new unlimited look for the cards, they changed the 2-player starter deck to unlimited as well. But instead of taking the first edition stamp off of the Machamp, they left it there, and that's probably as a selling ploy, you know, because kids pick up the box and they look at the back and they say, oh wow, a first edition Machamp, and they buy it. But as far as I'm concerned, this really isn't a first edition card. It's just an unlimited card with the first edition stamp on it. So really, this is the real first edition Machamp, and this is the unlimited, even though they both have first edition stamps on there. Also, when talking about shadowless cards are only available for the English cards. German, French, Italian, they are not shadowless. Japanese, There's no foreign language Shadowless cards. Only the English cards can be Shadowless in the base set. The reason for that is that the German, Italian, and French cards were printed a year after the English ones. So by the time they got the base set in Europe, and even with the first editions, the Shadowless cards had already been completely discontinued. So that's the reason for that. Now, just to show some differences between the three types of cards here, because there are some other differences as well. The Charmander here, you can see first edition, Shadowless, and Unlimited. You can see pretty much every card gets lighter when going from the Shadowless cards to the Unlimiteds. They get a bit lighter and flatter. And then some other changes, such as with the Squirtle here, you can see the picture is completely cropped different. It's much more zoomed in with the Shadowless, and then once they move to the Unlimited, they kind of zoomed out. You can see there's an extra bubble there, and you see more of the entire picture. The Bulbasaur is very much unchanged. Some other stark differences here are with Professor Oak. You can see it's very dark and detailed with the Shadowless cards, and then the Unlimited is very dull and flat looking. Now, my theory on why the illustrations are actually duller is because when they switched to the Unlimited cards, they added the bolder text and the shadow there, and I'm thinking that used a little bit more ink. So what they did to compensate was they took a little color out of the actual Pokemon. So it probably evens out perfectly since they added the extra shadowing and the bolder text and stuff. So I guess they just did that to even it out, so to cut printing costs a little bit, so they wouldn't have to, add the extra ink to the cards. So it's just a little bit of a swap out. Also, a lot of differences between the Shadowless and Unlimited cards were, I need to get my other binder here for a second. Some other differences between the cards are errors. The Shadowless cards, first edition and regular Shadowless, have many errors where the first editions, where the Unlimiteds do not. They were corrected. With the Kakuna here, you can see it lists length and length, where it should list length and weight. There's many cards that do that on accident. Also, with the Caterpie and a few other cards, it lists HP 40 instead of 40 HP. It's reversed. That's a common error. The Bulbasaur also has the length and length error. The Pikachus can have red cheeks. They don't have to if they're Shadowless or first edition, but they can. Metapod also with the HP 70. Voltorb his description says, usually found in power plants, easily mistaken for a monster ball. It has zapped many people. It should read Pokeball, and they fixed that when moving to the Unlimited. So there's many differences, many small differences, but the main difference between these three types of cards is rarity and price. When talking about the Charizard here, if you want to buy it straight out of a pack, first edition, the card itself, you're probably going to be spending a little over $100. The Shadowless, probably about $40, and the Unlimited, about $8 to $12. Now the reason is because these were printed much less than the Unlimited. The first edition were printed a short amount, of course, because they're first edition. The Shadowless were barely printed any more than these because they were discontinued right in the middle of their printing to make way for these cards. And these were printed for way more than these two. So, yep, I guess that's about all I can say about Shadowless cards and the three different types of cards in the base set. I hope that was educational, and I hope that answered all your questions. I tried to go over everything. So thank you very much for watching, and comment, rate, subscribe, and keep watching my videos. Thank you very much. Bye.